Yo, you are listening to Top Tier Underground, the podcast that brings together music and the voice of the artist that creates it. We've been longtime fans of Onhell, so we are happy we got to pick his brain. And believe me when I say his beats punch harder than Jim Jones's Kool-Aid. Onhell is kicking off his spring tour with Thalem, and they are looking for bookings in March and April. So if you are interested in getting him at a local show, contact him at onhellmusic@gmail.com. Keep a lookout for his upcoming release on Century. Be sure to follow Top Tier Underground on all the socials. Here's your host, Eric.
And we're live. So what's up, homie?
Chilling, eating tangerines.
Well, this is round two. First time I think that it was good conversation, but it was just over too fast. So I had to get some more.
Yeah, let's talk more. Let's have a little more conversing.
Well, since we are not going to release the first episode, let's kind of start from the beginning. So
yeah.
What got you into music? And let's talk a little bit about your like your roots in Humboldt and stuff like that. And let's also introduce you, just because we didn't do that yet. So you're Onhell.
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 Yep. Onhell, which is the Spanish pronunciation of my real name. So when you call me Onhell, it's actually it means angel in Spanish. So it is my name, and some people get like freaked out about that, or just surprised or whatever. But they'll be like, "What's your name?" And I'll be like, "Onhell." They're like, "No, bro. Like, what's your real name?"
So when you like introduce yourself as Angel, do you introduce yourself as Onhell?
Yeah, because
I know that. Yeah.
People call me Angel too, but I just feel like Angel's like, you've got to be like a hard motherfucker to be called Angel, like, you know?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'd have to do like some jail time before I can start to be called like Angel, you know?
Yeah.
all the dudes that I know that are named Angel and they go by Angel, they're like, they're not fucking.
They're like the devil.
They're just like, they've been through it, you know?
Yeah, well, you're really good with Photoshop. You could Photoshop yourself behind bars. We can start spreading rumors at festivals. Have you ever done that before? Like spread rumors at festivals? It's really fun.
I've never done that, but I think I've been involved in that before.
Well, yeah, my friends and I have definitely spread some rumors about fake drugs going around and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's always fun. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about your roots, Humboldt. And I was curious because I saw that you posted a picture today with your picture from the remix tape on it, and it said that was from when you were on a farm in Humboldt. So were your parents like farmers up there or something, or what got you to Humboldt, or got your parents to Humboldt and all that shit? I want to know everything.
Yeah, I mean, my mom definitely smuggled weed seeds from Morocco into her, she sewed them into the collar of her baby satchel that she carried my brother in. She sewed weed seeds into the baby satchel and flew with them back to the United States and grew weed with my dad up in southern Humboldt. So that's really what I mean by a farm, you know, because in Humboldt,
well, that's what I was wondering.
In Humboldt, we have some farms.
There's not much else that grows good in that fucking area.
There's a couple tomato farms, there's a couple watermelon farms, but for the most part it's weed.
Right.
So yeah, that was.
They call it the Emerald Triangle, you know, like Humboldt, Ukiah, and
Humboldt, Mendocino, and Trinity County.
Is it? I thought it was Ukiah County.
Ukiah is a city in Mendocino.
Oh, it's in Mendocino?
Yeah.
I thought Ukiah was a county. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, good.
Word.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking hilarious. So you're.
Yeah, the cover art is just it's like my favorite picture of myself, and it's the picture of me when I was like 3 years old, and I'm just like dirty. I haven't showered in like a week. I just like a bum hippie child who's just has no shirt on, and I'm just flipping off the camera because that's like my brother's taught me that, I guess, and I just couldn't stop. So, and it worked perfect for some cover art later on in life.
Yeah, that's like the most gangster cover art that you could possibly find. It's so good.
Thank you.
That's cool. So you grew up in Humboldt, and what got you into the music scene up there? Like, where I know your first shows were kind of like Womp, right? And
Yeah. I actually went to this like after school kind of program. It's like a separate nonprofit program for kids called the Mars Project, MARZ Project. And like you could they had computers and like a music studio, and like any kids who wanted to come in and make music and make art and like do Photoshop or like film, whatever they're really interested in, there were people there to just help them. And so I was going to that for like a couple of years when I was in high school, and like got me interested in like the Glitch Mob and like other like, you know, electronic music. And that's kind of what got me started, which was really nice because it's like there's not every city has like a program like that. I know some of them
not at all. Like where I grew up, it was like the programs were church and God and all that stuff after school. So
it's really sick. Honestly, like at a certain point in my life, I'd potentially want to start one like that.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Sponsors or whatever. But right now, it's just focusing on the music thing. So that's what got me started, and then it just kind of it's just after that, it's just like you watch YouTube videos upon YouTube videos of how to do certain things in Ableton, and you just spend hours upon hours making fucking hundreds of beats. And then after you do that, you
how
get
old were you
good at it, you know?
Yeah, how old were you when you got into that program though?
Like 16, 17.
Oh, okay, cool. So
yeah, not super young.
No, that's pretty young though. So when you got into that program, did you start out like right away into Ableton?
Yeah, because they had Ableton on their computers, so that's like what the program we learned there.
Cool. So you started out producing and not really DJing. This is kind of what I'm getting. Okay.
No, but I actually kind of did it at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And like Arcata, which is the town over. I grew up in Eureka.
Uh-huh.
It was a town over, and it's just like it's kind of like a party. A college town, so there's like a lot of house parties, and so we'd play a lot of house parties, and just I kind of picked up learning DJing there, and through like a mentor, a friend of mine, DJ K Nuts, Stassi. He showed me a lot about. He like DJ'd like funk and hip hop and like disco and stuff, so he'd like show me how to like properly like bring in the song here, bring in this there, you know.
Yeah. So you started out kind of messing around on Ableton and DJing parties and stuff. When was your first like official gig with the crowd and your name on a flyer?
Probably I was throwing parties in Humboldt because there wasn't and there still aren't a lot of all ages parties.
Yeah.
And so I was like, being a young kid, I was like, dude, I want some all ages parties because there's nothing to fucking do.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of I just booked myself really. It was a pretty bad show though, to be honest. The first show is always the worst. Like,
oh yeah, I mean,
yeah,
for sure. So I went to a show in Humboldt like a long time ago, and it was at this like busted ass warehouse.
Yeah.
And where was it at? Arcata or Eureka? Do you remember?
No.
Oh,
it was in Arcata. I think I know the warehouse you're talking about.
Really? Yeah. And it was pretty cool though, but it was like, it's just kind of funny because you were saying that there's not a lot of shows there and stuff like that. And
oh man, like once you find a venue that's pretty decent, like a warehouse, or like I started throwing parties in a climbing gym. It was like those were honestly like the tightest parties because it was like just a big open warehouse vibe, and they had a bar in there.
Right.
So it's honestly like there's like 3 or 4 venues in Humboldt, and then if you can find a new spot, then like you've got it.
Yeah.
You know, you got it. Like, oh, this is new and it's sick and like underground feeling. You know. So.
Yeah. So how old were you when you started playing at Womp then? Was that
probably like 18, 19, and I would get booked like to open, and then I would go super early so that they wouldn't even card me. So I was like 19. They wouldn't even card me, and I'd walk in and then just like set up and like kind of stick around the stage, play my set, and then by the time it's like 11 o'clock or so and I'm done, I'll go outside and like hang out with the bouncers and get to know them, so they recognize my face, get to know them by name, and then when I'd come back like the week later, because it was a weekly, I'd be like, oh, what's up, dude? Like, oh, I forgot my ID. Like, can you just let me in? Oh, don't worry about it. You know?
Yeah,
And,
totally.
And then so that's how I just eventually, and I got to know the owner, and it was all chill until like my 21st birthday came around. And then the owner just looks at me. He's like, "What the fuck? It's your 21st birthday."
Yeah.
But yeah. But my run rule was that I would never drink when I was there. When I was under 21, because that can really fuck up.
Yeah, man, that's proper. Because I used to work for a nightclub in Boise, and we had that happen one time where, like teenagers got caught drinking there, and it actually shut down the entire club for like 2 weeks. You know, I mean, and for a club to be shut down for 2 weeks, I mean, especially the club that I worked at, you're talking about, you know, $50,000-$100,000 in lost profit.
No, and it's horrible. It's hard to make a profit in music and all of that. And so it's like, yeah, it's really sad when you see that happen.
Yeah, it's crucial that you respect. So that's message out to the fucking youngins, like, respect your people. Because
if you're trying to,
you're gonna be 21 eventually, and you know, like, you want people to book you. And so but so cool. Well, talk to me a little bit about your like writing process, and kind of like when you sit down at the laptop, like, do you have a structure or sit down at your computer? Do you have a structure on how you kind of get started, and what's your flow like?
Yeah, I generally try to block everything out of my head, because a lot of times, like, you'll have a thought like, oh, I want to make this kind of song, or I'll do this. I want to make something that's really great. I want to make something that stands the test of time, but also slaps hard in the club, or whatever mindset that you're in. I find that, like, it can be really, it can hold you back, or hold me back at least. And so I try to just like let go of a lot of stuff and just like flow and let whatever come out and just roll with it. And then eventually it starts to sculpt itself naturally into something. And then you can kind of have those thoughts later on in the process. In the beginning, it's very like organic, and you just kind of let things come out naturally. Try to get like into a meditative, just natural, like Shoshin, which is like a term. I think it's like Taoist or something like that, but it's like means beginner's mind. It just means like you just go at it like you're a baby, and you're just going into it thinking nothing. I don't know. I try to get into that headspace as much as possible. But then literally I just start with a loop and work my way from there, you know, do a little drum loop and put some synths down, put some bass down, whatever vibe you're feeling at the moment. Let it go out.
That's a good idea. Loops. I've never heard anybody tell me I should do loops.
Totally. Just start with one loop and perfect the loop until it's totally perfect. And you go, this is amazing. I love this. And then move on to the next section.
Yeah. So you mean like don't write an entire track out with nothing going on?
Yeah.
So
I mean, to each their own. Everyone's writing process is different. You know, sometimes that works for some people. For me, this is just what works for me.
Yeah, and just for the record, it doesn't work for me.
Right, totally. We've experienced that.
Yes. Yeah. So, cool. Well, so when you do that, do you have other people master your music, or do you master your music?
Well, I don't master it. I do mix it down though. Because I've given it to other people to mix down, and
their own thing when it gets back. Yeah,
dude, it's so different. Yeah,
it's like you get an entire different tune back almost.
Totally. And like I mean, I know that like I'm not the best at like certain techniques of making things sound as loud and compressed as possible, but I do just make it to the point where I like it. I think it sounds good. And I think that's important because
well, there's artists out there that will like straight up like redline percussions, and you'd think it would sound like shit, but then, you know, like they have been doing that with their music over time, and their music sounds like that, and it's a good thing. Like, it's
totally,
you know what I'm saying? Like, cause you know, like I have a friend, I'm not going to drop names, but he's a really good mastering engineer. And, but he likes certain types of music that are like extremely clean and like perfect. So if he mixes down a tune, like it's going to be flawless, but like sometimes in bass music, you're not looking for flawless. You're looking
Totally.
for like, you know, heavy hitting in certain areas.
Totally.
And so,
Yeah, I think it's really important for people to like find their own sound, and really like, I mean, I think it's okay to be like, oh, I heard that and I really like how that sounds. Like, how do they do that, and figure it
Right.
out? But then I do hear a lot of people that are just like, it's just copying what someone else sounds like. And it's very easy to get caught up into that, because you're like, you can make a song that sounds like them, and then you're just like, oh, but I really like it, you know, and I really think it sounds good, and it might, but it's just, you know, when we're living in a world where there's so much going on, I think it's really important for people to like really find their own unique sound. And I think the listeners really appreciate it too. It's like, oh, this sounds like nothing I've ever heard before.
Right.
So, I mean, I know I struggle with that sometimes.
Well, and you know, like to that point, I think something that not a lot of people recognize or realize, because we interact with such like a small amount of people in our immediate circle, even if you interact with a shitload of people, but we interact with like a relatively small number of people. So we think on a small scale, and like, you know, like your style is going to get following for that demographic, whatever your style is, over a period of time, no matter what. Like back in the day, if you had a weird, unique style, it'd be so much more difficult to reach your audience because we didn't have the internet, right? So now that we have the internet, if you have a fucking weird style, like it's going to somehow get to that demographic, you know?
Totally.
And that's kind of the blessing that we have, and the curse, right? I mean, you know, it's so saturated.
It's everything that's like working right now are all the things that are like new and fresh, like all the things that like haven't been done before, you know, are the things that are like a year old. Like all these people who are super famous on Instagram for like squeezing lemons into their eyes and jumping off buildings, like that has never existed before, and it's like they're making millions of dollars, and like
hopefully they're investing that shit too.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because it's
like,
they might end quick.
if people can invent like the whole new way to like promote themselves, or a whole new music or whatever, it's like those are the things that are working, and people are really appreciating it. It's something really fresh. And I personally love the internet, you know.
Yeah, you're really good at it.
A beast that needs to be fed, you know.
Right.
And just like it's just like constantly wants new content and something fresh and interesting. So
yeah, you're really good at that, man. Like you're really good at keeping, like if the internet was its own entity, you're really good at keeping the internet as an entity like happy, because like you're saying you have to feed it, you know, because you're really good with like you know, like for example, we talked about this you know before, but you're really good at like Photoshop, and I remember when I first booked you, you and Arden were coming to Idaho, and you did like that Napoleon Dynamite thing, where like you photoshopped your guys' faces onto Napoleon Dynamite and whatever his
Sayer was what's the main character in Napoleon Dynamite?
That's the main character, Napoleon Dynamite.
That's his name. Yeah, Sayer was Napoleon Dynamite, and I was photoshopped as Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro.
Yeah. I remember I made one photoshopped photo of us, and I think like we were both like T-Rexes like blowing fire over like Portland or something.
Yeah,
and we were like destroying Portland, you know, as like these monsters, and like I just remember it getting like a lot of traction. People just thought it was hilarious. I was like,
it was hilarious. Yeah,
just do one for every city, and it was just a nice little like montage. It's like, oh, we're coming here next, and people were like waiting, like, oh, what's he gonna do for Las Vegas or something, or what's he gonna do for Boise? So,
yeah, man, I feel like that kind of started a trend. You know, it was whether or not I mean, like whether or not I'm gonna completely credit to you, I don't know, but it did seem like after I don't know if you brought my awareness into people doing it, or if people started doing it after you did it. But it was like I started seeing it kind of pop up here and there for different events. And all of a sudden, it like started this trend. It was cool.
Yeah, possibly. I feel like there's a lot of memeage on the internet that occurs.
For sure.
But yeah, good internet times. Always try to just like make promoting interesting and fun. I hear about it from a lot of my friends. They're like, oh, I have to make another post about this thing. It gets really monotonous after a while when you're like, yo, super stoked to be doing this. Come out. Like
Yeah.
after you've written that like 100 times, you're like, okay, what can I say else besides super stoked, or like,
Right.
come out, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just try to have fun with it. Like trying to, like, I made like for the remix tape, I made a commercial, that was just like a montage of the different people that I remixed on there. So it's like Gucci Mane and Nicki Minaj and Yo Gotti, and it's just like, and then I was talking in the background, and it's a rip off of an Apple commercial. So I remixed the commercial for the remix tape, and just re-recorded myself saying the lines. And before, it was like images of Gandhi and Martin Luther King and great people. That's the guy talking. It's like the here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the ones who do things differently. And it's like, but this time it's like Gucci Mane and like MF Doom and stuff, who I personally think are geniuses.
Yeah, Gucci Mane is the definition of a genius.
Totally.
I mean, have you ever looked up Gucci Mane quotes?
Oh, he's amazing. I love his interviews. I love him. I love old Gucci and I love new Gucci. I have appreciation for both.
Dude, the best memories I have in my entire life are like me and my best friend Ray sitting in, he used to have this like piece of shit Honda Civic, and we'd be sitting in there at like 5 a.m., have been partying all night, and we would just be listening to Gucci Mane on repeat, talking shit about his lyrics,
Yeah.
It was the best. Like Gucci Mane is like, I listen to Gucci Mane a lot. So
he's an animal. He has like almost 100 mixtapes out, like fucking 20 albums. It's like crazy.
Yeah, dude. He's like straight up like one of the hardest working. I like to joke about him because he's kind of fucking hilarious and crazy, but at the same time, like he really is an extremely hardworking rapper. I mean, he's like. He's inspiring as an artist because he just fucking like, even like as soon as he gets out of prison, dude, he's just like on it, and he's dope as fuck.
Yeah.
So well, talking about the remix tape. When's the remix tape coming out and all that stuff?
It's dropping on February 15th. It's like 12 remixes of different artists that I love. They slap. Half of them are like bangers you can play out in the club, and the other half are like more somber and mellow. So it's a mix of everything. So, but yeah, it's a tape of remixes. We actually released a tape of them, but they sold out. They sold out in like a week, which is, I'm super happy and not surprised, but like I guess really surprised. I was just like, damn, I was like, got them all. All right.
Yeah, dude, it was dope. That's so cool.
Feb 15th.
So Feb 15th. And what are some of the artists that you're going to feature on it? Just so people know.
The Yo Gotti remix, which is already released, is on it, which is, people love that one. But 21 Savage, Gucci Mane, I do like a Lil Wayne, Aphex Twin remix. I take like an Aphex Twin beat and it's a Lil Wayne song, Lil Peep.
Lil Peep.
Lil Peep's on there.
Nice.
God. I took a Lil B interview, or he's just like, it's really like a motivational speech that he's giving, and then I put music to it. So it's not like a Lil B song, but it's like a Lil B Bass God speech of inspiration.
That's dope. So what's your process like with doing remixes though? Because that's kind of a whole different animal than writing music.
It is. So I download. There's a Reddit forum called, I think it's called Isolated Vocals, but it's if you search in Google Reddit acapellas, people just post random acapellas on there 24/7. It's so awesome.
Dude, that's so good to know. You just like straight up made thousands of people's lives.
Oh yeah.
This podcast will be listened to in like 2045 and people are gonna be like, what? Awesome. Thank you.
But yeah, I just like go through and download whatever. I mean, I just go through there every once in a while and download different remixes, and then I'll generally just be making a beat, and then I'll think like, oh, this could maybe use some vocals, and I'll just go through the acapellas that I have and see what fits, and lo and behold. Or sometimes I'll just take an acapella and remix it, make a beat around it. But
Right.
it's nice. It's been nice doing that because it's helped me like simplify my music a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because with vocals on it, you kind of need to simplify it. But I've enjoyed simplifying the music. Not maybe simplifying isn't the right word. But it's just like,
I don't think that's the right.
More focused.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not
It's
as
easy to
much
have a lot of stuff going on.
but like filling the space with like the room instead of the fucking all the shit, you know? It's like
Right.
that's something that there is a lot of talent in someone like Drumma Boy or, you know, like Mike Will Made It, dude. It's like obviously the beats are really simple, but it's not easy making a simple track.
No.
You know, I think that's like a really common misconception. People think that they could just like get into hip hop beats, and it's
they'll so many times you hear someone like they, you know, listen to a hip hop track. They're like, oh, like I could make this. This is just
I can make that in 10 minutes. All it is
two
is 5
things
things
going on.
Yeah.
Like,
okay,
right, good luck.
Yeah. We'll see. There's like thousands of, you know, people writing hip hop beats and only a few that are like actually doing it, you know, but whatever. So awesome. So what about shows? You got any cool shows coming up or anything?
I got a show in San Francisco on Tuesday. I don't know when this is going to air.
This is going to come out on Wednesday. If you can get your fucking mix to me.
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
I have a tour coming up in March and April with Thelum, Parallels tour. And yeah, we're gonna hit a lot of good spots. I think so far we got like Seattle and Arcata, Denver, a few other ones. But yeah, we're looking for more shows. So, you know.
So yeah, if you're a promoter listening to this, hit the boys up. Yeah, dude, Thelum's sick as fuck too. I mean, that's gonna be a perfect tour. Your guys' music is gonna like be a perfect booking for a promoter.
Yeah, I feel like he's from the UK and I'm from the US, and we kind of like each other's sounds from both sides of the spectrum, and we kind of meet in the middle.
Totally. That's what I mean. It's really cool because like he's almost like if you could, because UK, they have their own thing going on, but Thelum's always had this like UK with somehow he has American influences in his music. Like it's unique for the UK, you know. It's like
super sick.
It's a lot different, and your music is kind of like the opposite. Like your music is obviously American, but your music has a lot of UK influences in it. So it's kind of like this. That's going to be a fucking perfect tour.
Yeah,
so that's great.
I'm super stoked.
Yeah, good job. Well, awesome. So why don't you tell people where they can find you? SoundCloud, Facebook, not your address. Don't release that. Not your social.
yeah. Come find me. Highland Park. Let's go. Just Onhell, Onhell, SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter, all of it. You can just Google Onhell. I'm pretty sure I'm the first thing that comes up. But yeah, all one word. Onhell, double L.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, thanks, man. Hang out with me just for a second, and then listeners can check out your mix. So hang on.
Smoking gas in a rental. She giving me mental. Count faces. While she popping Molly like Mento. I got money for real though. Split blunts down the middle. I got love for everybody who give a fuck how you feel though. In a big house with 10 hoes. Catch me in the hills blowing endo. Pool party that's endo. So much gin, take a swim hole. Homie, pass the weed, let's get super high. I smoke that shit that made R. Kelly think that he could fly. 30 racks off one plate. Took it to the strip, then blew it. Took a lot of gin and some pills. Took it to my hotel room like screw it. Smoking on pounds. NC out of word ain't no crime. All I do is smoke weed and rhyme. Sip codeine just to ease my mind. Don't pass me no regular. I'ma turn it down. All I blow is loud. All I blow is loud. Don't pass me no regular. I'ma turn it down. All I blow is loud. That's a blessing up in the
cause they talking shit. Man around here going on tours and trips. Them soundboy there, she'll call it quits. You don't wanna see my size 10 Air Max 90 up in your grilling. Shit, so chill. You don't wanna see my size 10 Air Max 90 in your grill. We are not the same, I chase kills. And they try to give me gets, we're not like pills. On the levels, man, I know to get it popping like pills. You man, I never doing jack like jail. Man, don't recognize you, you're not real. All my squad keep it trill. God, please bless me, I'm ill. Metrodome, what's the deal? Show them I know the skill. Leaving silent like hill. We set the vibe off for real. LaRue, how I going for the kill. Glory hunting every day, cause we wanna make a meal. Man, I like flat big, cause they just stay still and making moves on road, cruising on 4 wheels.
Turn up and we turn up. You're a turn it, you get bun up. I'm a dead set, no bet thread. We get shedded up till sun up. Run up in your dance and smash it. You pop up in your pants and flap it. With the bet slits, no get slits. We find the rider and nap it.
I got model bitches wanna lick me like some candy. And them drugs coming in. Last name savvy, bitch, but no I'm not ran. Hit her with no condom, had to make her eat a thing. And I'm sipping on that codeine, not brain. I'm just stunting on my ex bitch. I'm just flexing on my ex bitch. Hold up, I'm just stunting on my ex bitch. Blessing on my ex bitch. Fuck a wedding ring, I bought a necklace. Diamonds got the flu, try not to catch this. I left that hoe alone cause she was ratchet. All these bitches salty, they can't stand. Flexing on that bitch, hold up, flexing on that bitch. Bought a necklace on that bitch. Her friend gon' lick me like a fool. Roll up, roll up. She had her feelings on the ground. Roll up.
21, flexing on that bitch, hold up. I ain't texting back that bitch, hold up. I ain't stressing about that bitch, hold up. 21, go get the stick, hold up.
Hold up, hold up. Bitch, I like to pop, like, hold up. Without no baby pop, hold up. Bitch, I spit your ring inside the mouth, hold up. She got a nigga, but he broke, she lost.
Hold up, at this private love. call me immigration. Hold up.
Talking, get hope ahead like dolphin. I heard you trapping, buddy, yeah, I be trapping often. I took her to my loft, she say she came from Boston. Don't care how much it costs, cause I be fucking so.
I got bitches, I got bitches, I got bitches, I got bitches. Sway, car, clothes, a hoe, extra dough, wheels on 24, nigga. I got bitches, I got bitches. Sway, car, clothes, a hoe, extra dough, wheels on 24. I got bitches, I got bitches. Sway, I got bitches. Sway, I got bitches. Car, clothes, a hoe, extra dough, we'll say send on 24s.
Damn, I got bitches, but these guys, they swag. Word around town, these fuck bitches in the lamb. Pretty boy, nigga with the K like I'm Rambo. Roll grill, nigga, fuck your bitch in the asshole. Rich young nigga, and I never gave a fuck though. Black Jesus, yeah, that's my bro, we going AWOL. Rich young nigga, got the cash in the safe, dog. 5 on me like I'm Soulja Boy.
But I don't know where I'm going. On 285, I
better back. Nah, that's not me. Can't be a waste man, that's not me. Living at mumsy's, that's not me. Then when I come to you, that's not me. Nah, that's not me. In need of a hand out, that's not me. I'm not holding my hand out, that's not me. There's a dickhead thing, nah, that's not me. Talk to the boy, them, that's not me. Informer, that's not me. Spill the beans, nah, that's not me. Wear skinny jeans, nah, that's not me. Having a bubble, that's not me. What you thought it was double, that's not me. Then when I sad, then that's not me. Then when I swag, and that's not me.
Thought I was him. Look quite similar, thought I was him. That guy there had a box like man. Them man truly thought I was him. Girls wanna go out to a rave, take a picture and get liked. You thought I was him. None of them operations that I had held me back, but you thought I was him. Did I have a box on my head? Did I have a box on my head till the year 06? Guy tried it on me, I don't know why. Till I start dishing out trucks and kicks in your house. Start throwing rocks and bricks. Make man take off your socks and kicks. Better know that's not me. It's an act up. Get your jaw boxed off clean.
No, that's not me. Act like a waste man, that's not me. Sex any girl, nah, that's not me. Lips any girl, nah, that's not me. Yeah, I used to wear Gucci, I put it all in the bin, cause that's not me. True, I used to look like you, but dressing like a mess, nah, that's not me.
All my hoes, rake it up, break it down, bag it up, fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up, bag it up, bag it up, bag it up, rake it up, rake it up, rake it up, bag it up, bag it up, bag it up, bag it up. I tell all my hoes, rake it up, break it down, bag it up, fuck 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 it up, break it up, break it up, break it up. I made love to a stripper. First I had to tip her 20,000 ones. She said I'm that nigga. I said I'm that nigga, bitch. I already know it. I come with bad weather. They say I'm a storm. VVS is in my drum. That's a Rockefeller chain. I was sending bricks to Harlem back when Jay was still with Dame. I'm a lead child. I gotta protect on. Got a stripper with me. She picked up the chick home. She gon' put it up. She don't need makeup. She gon' rake it up. Tell the nigga pay her. She said pay for the pussy, pay for the pussy. Wait for the pussy, wait for the pussy. Ain't gonna feel me.
Yeah, bitch, I'm paid, that's all I gotta say. Can't see you little niggas, the money in the way. And I'm sitting high against the ride blaze. And if you ain't gon' ride fly, then you might as well hate. Shit, I gotta eat, yeah, even though I ain't. No, it ain't my birthday, but I got my name on that cake. Shit, believe that, and if your mans won't play, and I'ma fuck around and put the ball brains on the gate. Hey, pick 'em up, fuck 'em, let 'em lay. Where I'm from, we see a fucking dead body every day. That's uptown, throw a stack at 'em, make a song about me. I'm throwing shots back at 'em. Bitch, I'm a pipe, she like a crack addict. And she saw me cooking eggs, she thought I was back at it. Yeah, I grabbed my keys, oh, I gotta go. Got my motorcycle jacket and my motorcycle low. Chrome down 1100. What I'm doing, hitting money. What we doing, hitting. What they doing, hating on us, but they never call. Cash money still a company, and bitch I'm the boss. And I be stunning like my daddy, stunning like my daddy, stunning like my daddy. I be stunning like my daddy. I'm the young stunner, stunning like my daddy, stunning like my daddy. I be stunning like my daddy. Shorty, 98, 45 paper plates, 10 the whole thing, big money, heavyweight, 100 stacks. Spent 50 on a caddy, 25 on a pinky, bought a pound of blowing bounce back. Matching grills, big houses on the hills, got them hoes in the kitchen, out cooking, paying bills. On Thunder Island, dollar after dollar, flipping chickens, getting tickets, want the money and the power. Just bought a Cadillac. Get money, get money, get money. New money. This what you been waiting on. Hey, rich boy, silly, quick book. Niggas wanna check shit tight, no slick. Just bought a Cadillac. Throw some D's on that bitch. Just bought a Cadillac. Throw some D's on that bitch. Just bought a Cadillac. Rich boy, silly, quick book. Niggas wanna check shit tight, no slick. Just bought a Cadillac. Throw some D's on that bitch. Just bought a Cadillac. Throw some D's on that bitch. Just bought a Cadillac. Rich boy, selling quick book. Niggas wanna check shit tight, no slick. Just bought a Cadillac. Took it to the top, got the damn top drop. Two color flip flop and the red lollipop. I was in the parking lot, but still got my Glock cock. New money, motherfucker. Don't you see the big knot? Don't you see the big chain? Don't you see the big grills? Wonder who they hating on lately, baby. This him.
Lost in the pessimistic state of perception. It's been hard to participating. Natural instances and due to my history, I don't know what's next for me, but keep my composure for over anyone next to me. If deemed detriments, all we love was for negligent motherfuckers that can't seem to keep aware in their head. I'm not self-aware, I'm misled, I'm a hypocrite like the rest. I would kill myself if it benefit all of my fucking friends. I'm sorry, mama, I didn't mean to fucking hurt you. If I detest my worth, I'll show you heaven on this earth. So if alive or in the dirt, I swear to God, you'll be my first priority before the hurt that means.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to check out the homie Onhell. His music is off the chain. And definitely, if you're a promoter listening to this, get at him about that tour. I personally have booked him, and he's an amazing artist to work for, and he's an amazing producer, and he's definitely sure to bring out a crowd. So if you guys enjoyed this podcast, be sure to subscribe and comment. Give us some feedback so we can get up in the podcast ranks. And thank you so much for your support. All right, take it easy. Peace.